Welcome, everybody. This is the Beastly Gamer being joined today by Briarrabbit. This is episode 3 of Beastly Thoughts. Thank you for joining us. If you don't know who Briarrabbit is, please look him up on YouTube. He's a fantastic gamer, great personality. And if you're watching this video on Briar's channel, please check me out. I am Beastly Gamer. Today, we're going to discuss some of the things going on in the gaming community, the gaming world, some of the latest news, and give you guys our thoughts for your enjoyment. How you doing today, Briar?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Beastly?
Oh, man, doing fantastic. I had kind of a down week a little bit, but I'm such an optimist. I had a situation at work. My supervisor passed away Friday, and I didn't find out until as soon as I left work, I found out. And it's been one of those solemn weekends where you're trying to do your thing and press forward, but you're thinking about the loss of somebody you care about, and it's always rough. But I'm the Beastly Gamer. I got to pull forward and stay happy. I know that's what Charles would have wanted, but other than that, man, I'm doing fantastic. You know, I got me a little bit more light going on this time.
I see that. So, you're not quite as black as you used to be.
You know, like my T-shirt, you know. But this one, hopefully, is going to look a little bit better. I got a little bit of my video gaming background going here. I got my Kingdom Hearts Keyblade, and I'm a big Naruto fan. For all the Naruto fans out there, keep it up. I got my Sasuke grass cutter sword up there. And, of course, Mario's holding the sword. And that's how we do it around here. But how's everything been going on your end, man?
Excellent, excellent. I just got my Xbox One review posted today. I was really excited to finally get that out of the way. It took me about 3 weeks to formulate some kind of coherent thought process to get that review up. And I'm glad to have that off of my plate now because I was really stressing about it.
Wow, it took that long. Then again, the Xbox One, it's so many tiers. It's so many just directions you can go with a review on that thing because it does more than playing video games. It has cable connectivity, the Kinect sensor itself. It's just a lot going on there, but it took you 3 solid weeks. Wow.
Yeah, I was shooting for like a 7-minute video. It ended up being a little over 9 minutes, and to be honest with you, I couldn't fit everything I wanted to talk about in it, but I didn't want to make like a 30-minute video, so I tried to cut it down to the things I thought were most important, but I ended up with something I think is pretty good. I could use some better video equipment, though.
You're not the only one. That's the next on my plate.
Yeah.
I've been playing a hell of a lot of Call of Duty Ghosts recently. I initially had, you know, kind of a bad feeling about the game. I didn't like it as much because, to be honest, I didn't know it. I didn't know the levels. It was so big, and it was so daunting on me to see so much going on. You step out into the open, you got 10 or 12 vantage points. But playing it for the last couple of weeks, I got to say I love it. I honestly believe it's the best Call of Duty game ever made now. I'm enjoying the different online modes. My wife and I, we've been killing that infected mode. Have you tried that?
I haven't tried infected mode at all, and right now it's double XP weekend on that, so maybe I'll get to do it after the show tonight.
It's really fun. Yeah, we can get on there together. And just in case anybody's looking for me on the PlayStation Network, my PlayStation log on is the Beastly Gamer dash, no spaces. So find me, let's play. But yeah, I've been playing a little bit of that infected mode, which is very fun. It's extremely, you just stay on it. You can't do anything else. And it's been teaching me a lot about the levels.
Mm-hmm.
Because
is it the same levels that are in the multiplayer?
Exact same levels.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't feel that same sense of urgency to move. You really have more of a sense of stay where you're at so you don't get seen. And when you're moving slower, you get more of a sense of what's going on around you. And then when you jump back into team deathmatch, you really know the levels a lot better. So I've been really kicking a lot of ass.
Yeah, the level design in Ghosts they're so intricate that you feel like there's a window and a corner around, like at every angle. But once you start getting used to it, you start to see the strategy, and the map movement becomes more natural. You know what to look for when you're running down a certain corridor, and it becomes a lot of fun. I think that this is going to be one of the highest skill gap Call of Duties that we've ever seen, and I'm really enjoying it so far.
Believe it or not, I watched your video, and that video was the video that really kind of opened my eyes up to it, how to increase your kill-death ratio.
Oh, okay.
On the Briarrabbit channel, yes. I was checking that out, and it made so much sense to me, and I immediately started to slow down because I'm so used to playing Black Ops 2 and running and gunning, and it's so much easier. Everything is so much more linear. You know which gaps and which places and which perks and perches people can hide in, and I slowed down, and immediately it just made so much more sense. So I appreciate your video. You always help me
Thanks,
out.
man.
What are friends for, huh? I wanted to kind of touch on what's going on in the gaming world a little bit. I was reading an article today on USA Today, and I'm sure you know this, but a lot of the viewers probably don't. November was the best month ever for hardware sales, as per the NPD Group. The NPD Group, they do the numbers for multiple avenues of sales in different genres, video games, just everything. But NPD Group, they come out with like the numbers for the first 24 hours of video game console software sales, and they go on for months and months and years, and they let you know exactly what they're selling. But this is the biggest month. November was the biggest month of video game console sales in history. What do you think is different now about this new generation compared to the old? Because we've had some great consoles come out in the last 10 years, 15 years that have been phenomenal. PS2, I mean, and for the PS4 and the Xbox One to outsell all these old consoles in the opening month. What do you think is going on that's so different right now? Can you even pin it down? What do you think it is?
Well, for me, the reason I was so excited for the new console releases is it's just been so long. The Wii U released last year, but that didn't really feel like a next-gen console. It just felt like Nintendo's next-gen. But the Xbox 360 and the PS3 have been around for so long. I was chomping at the bit to get my hands on like a true next-gen console, and I stood in line for both of them. I couldn't wait, and I'm really happy with them now. So I think that the excitement has been building for so long. We started thinking about next-gen consoles in like 2008 and 2009. I remember listening to the 1UP podcast, like back when 1UP was still a thing, and they were already talking about rumors on the next Xbox. So, I mean, it's been a long time since we've had new consoles, and I think people are really ready for them.
So really, it was the anticipation for you. For me, it was really a lot of the same. I think the last console generation lasted for 8 years, I believe. Mm-hmm. It's been 8 years since we got anything new. That's a hell of a long time. Of course, the Wii U came. I got a funny story about the Wii U. My buddy, Mr. Lewis Lyles, if you're watching this, he was the guy I did the very first episode of Beastly Thoughts with, the big Nintendo guy. He sent me a message last night. He told me that he bought his Wii U 3 days ago, and he took it back yesterday.
No way. Why?
He took it back because he said he didn't like the control. He said the control was a little too hard for him to get used to.
With that
I
big
think 2 days
screen?
is probably a little too.
The controller with the screen on it?
Yeah, the big screen controller. He said yeah. Now, me personally, I've heard a lot of people say some great things about that controller. I've held it, during demos and things. I've never owned the console myself, but he said he just couldn't deal with it, and he was going to wait for the PlayStation 4 Slim.
That's going to be a couple years down the road, I would think.
I told him. He said no. He thinks it's going to be a year or so. I said no. You're looking at 2017 probably before you can get a Slim.
I like that Wii U controller. I think it's a nice controller. It feels good in my hands. I'm a big guy, so instead of doing this, feels kind of good.
Sense. It's kind of like streamlining the Wii control, because you got the nunchuck and the controller in your hand. But if you have something in between holding together for a big guy like us, it makes perfect sense. To me personally, I think that the Wii U's got some good stuff coming. Hopefully they can climb their ladder, because I don't like to see that big of a gap.
Did he get the new Mario Brothers game for it?
I think that's the one that came with it.
Okay.
Actually, well, see, the Wii U dropped its price to $299, and it includes the new Super Mario Brothers U and the new Luigi Brothers U. They actually come with it now, so that's what he sent back. And for him to be such a big Nintendo guy, I would have kept it a little bit longer than 2 days, because some people didn't like the PlayStation. Well, I don't know many people who didn't like the PlayStation 4 controller, but the Xbox One controller versus the 360 controller, it takes a little bit of getting used to.
I'll say I'm still not used to it.
Because you got a PS4 controller.
Yeah, because PS4 made the new Xbox 360 controller. It feels to me like an Xbox 360 controller, and the Xbox One controller feels like the PS3 controller.
Yeah. It's funny to me that Microsoft, of course, everybody knows this. They had the whole world in the palm of their hands with the 360 controller. Mm-hmm. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That controller still, to me, feels in a way better than it's right on par with the PS4 controller to me. To me, there isn't really a gap there. It's just your own preference, but they both feel just as natural in your hand.
Yeah, I do like about the Xbox One controller. I do like how the battery pack is now integrated. It's like a flat surface, so your fingers aren't kind of cramped in there. To me, that's about the only improvement on the controller. That and I guess the rumble triggers, but I don't like how wide the triggers are, so I'd do without the rumble triggers and just take a Xbox 360 controller with the new battery. I'd be happy.
Now, me personally, I kind of had a problem with it because at first I wasn't going to get an Xbox One.
Yeah.
I'm going to get.
Are you really?
I have. Yeah. There's some games coming out that I just have to have.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Titanfall's one of them. The new Halo's coming out. I gotta have it. Me and my girl, we play every Halo game, top to bottom. And Titanfall is something that I'm seeing a lot of, and it just looks incredible. I'm sorry. It's something I have to have. I'm a gamer, okay? And the fact that Microsoft may or may not have put a bad taste in my mouth, as time progresses, hopefully I'll be able to forgive them and play my Xbox One, okay? Yeah. But, I'm definitely going to get the console. It'll probably be sometime in the next 6 months. I'm not really rushing. The PS4 is doing really good. They got some great games selling. Killzone Shadowfall, the #1 selling exclusive game on any console in November, outsold Knack, it outsold Forza, it outsold Dead Rising 3, and I think it's all based on the graphics because the story is terrible and the multiplayer. They've been doing really good. Now we just had the VGX Awards come out. And did you get a chance to check that out?
No, I read a couple articles about some of it, but I didn't watch it.
What game were you rooting for, or what game do you think was viable option for Game of the Year?
I think there were a lot of great games last year. Tomb Raider comes to mind, BioShock Infinite, Last of Us.
Did you play any of these yourself?
I played all of them except for the Tomb Raider game.
I played all of those. And I played and beat Grand Theft Auto 5, played and beat multiple times The Last of Us, Tomb Raider played and beat BioShock Infinite. BioShock Infinite, to me, has probably the better story of those four. Mm-hmm. Tomb Raider is an excellent experience overall. It's a jack of all trades and master of many. I won't say it mastered all of them as well. The Last of Us, I think that they didn't bring anything actually revolutionary to the gameplay, but the way that the story was told, it drew you in so much. You invested so much emotion into the characters that I felt like emotionally it was an incredible ride going through that game. Grand Theft Auto 5 is just massive and expansive, and just on the technical aspect of that game, I think that they were definitely probably going to win, Game of the Year. Of course, they did get Game of the Year, GTA 5. Yeah. I was a little disappointed because me personally, I wanted the underdog to win. Now, we know that Naughty Dog got Studio of the Year, but they didn't get Game of the Year. So it kind of made me wonder, what does Studio of the Year mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I would have flipped those two awards because I think the technical achievement of Grand Theft Auto is, like you said, it's phenomenal. It's an unbelievable achievement. I got bored of that game, though. I got bored of the characters. I got bored. I didn't like the multiplayer at all. Last of Us to me was a superior gameplay experience. It was a tighter experience, so I think that helps with it. I don't have unlimited time to play games anymore. If I did, I might have enjoyed Grand Theft Auto more. But Last of Us, I don't know. It hit the heartstrings. It was fun to play. It had everything to me.
It wasn't just me.
No,
it wasn't just me that too. It was you too, Briarrabbit. Yeah. It tore me up. The first 10 minutes of that game had me wore out and had Kate with tears.
Yeah.
I mean, they did something so different in that game. I think that they deserve much more accolades than they got for it. It pushed the envelope of what you can do as far as character development and story in a game. Yep. It did a lot of everything. It was an action game. It was a survival horror game. It was stealth. It just had so much going for it. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait for the next one. I mean, yeah, it was amazing. Now, here's some of the other awards that came out with the video game VGX Awards, okay? Of course, we know GTA 5 won Game of the Year. Studio of the Year is Naughty Dog. The best shooter, BioShock Infinite. What do you think?
No way.
You think there were other shooters that came
I
out
don't
this
even
year?
think the shooting was not that good. I played the Xbox 360 version of that game, and that was probably, I thought, the worst part of the game was the shooting. It felt inaccurate. I play COD constantly, and I think Call of Duty has the best shooting. Between them and Halo, they have the best shooting. Like, the handling and the feel of the shooting is second to none. Infinite, to me, the game, exactly. It felt inaccurate. It felt too loose, and I really enjoyed the story. I really loved the characters. The gameplay itself was the thing that let me down with that game. So to give it Shooter of the Year,
yeah, I think that Elizabeth in the game. Yeah, I don't think it was. I think that they wanted to give it something because it had always been mentioned in Game of the Year talk. It's always been in the top 3. People have all recently said, well, I'll say top 4 because Tomb Raider is a great game. Tomb Raider, The Last of Us, BioShock Infinite, and Grand Theft Auto 5. Those are the 4, the main. And so they couldn't give BioShock Infinite Game of the Year. They wanted to, I believe, give it something. Now, I could have said it better myself. I think that the shooting mechanic in the game is real loose and floaty. I think that the story and the character development, the atmosphere of the game is worth an accolade.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they could have gave it that, so they wanted to give it something. So we agree totally there, okay? Best sports game, NBA 2K14. Now, me personally, I'm not a big sports fan. Big surprise, guys. I'm not a huge sports fan. Honestly, I'll watch the Super Bowl maybe once a year. If I watch a football game, I'm not really big into basketball either. And the game is a beautiful game. I'm not surprised, but one thing I'm kind of surprised about is that it took FIFA. FIFA is always, Game of the Year. I'm not a big soccer fan, but I've heard lots of complaints. People saying FIFA is so much better, but this game is beautiful.
It is.
It looks truly like a real basketball simulator. It looks real now.
Yeah, it really does. It looks amazing. I haven't played it myself. I haven't played either FIFA or the new Madden. I've heard a lot of complaints about Madden. I've heard a lot about bad complaints about NBA Live. I don't think there was a whole lot to put into this competition this year, I don't think.
Well, the developer of NBA Live came out with a statement recently stating that they're releasing a firmware update as well as an instruction update to help you with the controls, which means the controls have to be extremely difficult for you to be able. You need a new update to kind of streamline the way you play the game. Here's something for you, and I'm pretty sure you're happy to hear this. Best action adventure game, Assassin's Creed, Black Flag.
Yeah.
Now that was the game that you loved. I haven't played that myself on PS4.
The game is a lot of fun. It looks awesome on the PS4 too. So I think that's probably the version to play if you have access to a PS4. The Xbox One version I've heard is very good. I haven't played it myself. But yeah, that game is it's distilled fun. If you like the old Assassin's Creed games, but you thought they were a little slow and a little boring, then this is the game for you.
Okay, real quick, Briarrabbit, let me ask you a question. Am I getting blurry to you?
No, you look okay.
Okay, good. I was just making sure. My sons are back in the back, and they're playing Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and I didn't want them to slow us down here. Okay, best indie game. This is a game I've never even heard of. Gone Home. You heard anything about this game?
No, I haven't.
It's a PC game, and that's all I know about. I mean, some of these games that are winning these accolades and I'm a gamer, and I don't know about it, but I'm not a PC gamer per se. Well, not yet anyway. Best fighting game, Injustice Gods Among Us. I played that game. I beat the hell out of it. A fantastic game.
Is it good?
And I think that, there are maybe 3 or 4 games that came out this year that are possibly even worth that title. So I think that's a no-brainer.
That they have a free-to-play of that on PS4, don't they?
That's the new Tekken.
Oh, okay.
It's a Tekken free-to-play game that you start off with. They're doing kind of what they did with Killer Instinct on the Xbox One. It's free-to-play. You get one character, and then microtransaction away, know? And that's another big thing that seems to be taking off in this new generation is these microtransactions. What do you think about this?
I don't mind them as long as they give me value for my money. So, for example, if you charge me $60 for a game, you have to deliver a full game. If you want to sell me DLC after, that's fine. If you want to sell me outfits or items to customize my character. That stuff's all fine, but you got to deliver me a complete game at $60. If you're gonna give me a free-to-play game that has microtransactions in it, then there has to be a way for me to spend, I don't want to spend $1 a day for the length of the time I play the game. I won't do it. It's, to me, for some reason, it's easier for me to spend $60 on a game, bring the whole thing home, play through it, than it is to, get nickel and dimed every time I want to play it. It's just something psychological for me that just makes that not work.
It's called being a smart shopper or a smart. I feel the same way. I play some free-to-play MMOs on my PC. One of them is a terrible game called Silk Road, and they have nickel and dimed me for 3 years.
Wow.
I probably could have bought 2 Xbox Ones with the money I spent on Silk Road Online, and it's a constant thing. And you get so used to it that you almost forget that you're spending real money. And I think they're doing this with Rise Center Rome. They've got ridiculous microtransactions that are not needed for the game.
Forza's big. Forza's big on that.
Forza's doing it. The new Gran Turismo's doing it. These microtransactions, and I hear that you're paying big bucks for these exclusive cars.
Yeah, I was playing Forza last week, and I was entering a new race category, and it was classic cars, like classic muscle cars. And there I saw they had, I think it's a Dodge Charger. It was the Dukes of Hazzard car, right? And it was even orange. And I'm looking at it, I'm yeah, that's the one I want to drive. So I click on it, and it's oh, you gotta buy this. I'm what do you mean I gotta buy it? I just spent $60 on this damn game.
Yeah.
Now you're messing with my childhood memories, man.
Yeah. These companies, especially now, it's all about the revenue. It's all about the overhead. Get what you can while you can.
Yeah.
I want to go through a couple of more of these, and then I want to go on to something else that I want to talk about with you, Nintendo. But the Xbox game of the year is Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I never heard of this.
I've heard of it, and it's often been in when people are. I listen to a lot of gaming podcasts when I'm out on the road, and it seems to be on everybody's top 10 list for game of the year. But again, it's a PC. No, I think this is a 360 game, isn't it? Or is it a PC game?
Yeah.
So no, I haven't. I've heard that the play mechanics are amazing. You control the brothers independently with the thumbsticks, and it's like a puzzle game. But I haven't checked it out myself. It might be worth plugging in my 360 again to get my hands on it though.
Yeah, Kate was asking me earlier today. She said, "When's the last time you played the PS3?" And I said, "I haven't," and I feel so bad about it because I got some really great games still, some that I still haven't even touched on my PS3.
Yeah.
Look at the big giant, collection over here, and I really don't have that many PS4 games to suck up all my time. But yeah, it's probably worth me, hooking up my 360 to give that game a shot, brother.
Yeah, it sounds like it's amazing.
PlayStation game, the best PlayStation game, of course, The Last of Us. At least they gave him something, right? Naughty Dog deserved that. I think it was a fantastic game. We already talked about it. Nintendo, Super Mario 3D World. Now, this game just came out.
Yeah. What else are they going to give it to, though?
I mean, really, that's the kind of sad thing, though. It's so new. The Wii U's been out for a year, and it was a no-brainer to give it to that game. PC has gone home. Game of the year. Handheld. Do you still play your 3DS?
I have a 3DS sitting, I don't know, 2 feet away, and I haven't touched it. And it's not mine; it's the kids, and they don't really play it much either. They play Minecraft all the time.
Yeah, my boys, they're into that on their tablets. I go into phases. Okay, I'll wear a lanyard around my neck, and I'll either have a PSP, a PlayStation Vita, or a 3DS hanging from it.
Really?
And this is when I go grocery shopping, when I go to work, when I go anywhere. If I go through a stoplight, it's usually hanging from my chest. And right now I'm in Vita mode, so I take my Vita everywhere. And then it'll be 3 months of 3DS. But I think when I get my 3DS back out of the game shrine, I got to give this game a shot. Zelda, if they can recapture some of that, original Zelda, A Link from the Past.
That's what it is, right? It is exactly that. It recaptures the Link to the Past magic and improves on it. And apparently it's the best Zelda game since.
Really?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's billed to be, is A Link to the Past too.
I wish I could just go back and just stay a Toys R Us kid. Being an adult sucks. If you're a kid, play your games and listen to your mom and dad, okay? Because when you grow up, you don't have the time to play them anymore, nope. And you wish that you could go back in time and do it. So listen to your mom and dad, do your chores, and play your game.
Do your chores quick.
I wish I could.
Get them out of the way. That way you can have some fun.
Yeah. That's something I've got to play that, man. The best casual games, Animal Crossing, New Leaf. I never got into Animal Crossing. It's just one of those things. It's like when I immediately saw, you just said it. What's the game your kids are playing?
Minecraft.
When I saw Minecraft on the visual presentation alone, I said, no, can't do it. And that's being real biased, just graphically biased. Mm-hmm. I've never tried the game. So I can't give it my opinion. Just on the graphical level, I said, no, I'm going to stay away from that. Now, Animal Crossing is another one of those games. When I saw it, it was so cute and cutesy and pretty. And I think, what was it? I think the first console that came out was on the GameCube, correct?
I want to say that, yeah.
Yeah, it came out on the GameCube, and when I saw that, I was like, I got Smash Brothers. That's as cute as I'm going to get. Yeah. And I never gave it a shot. A lot of people really love that game.
I heard that game is a time suck, though. You know, you gotta go to you make repeat visits to the same place day after day, and you gotta play it for years to make it really worth playing. I don't know. It's just that's not my type of game. I need quicker experiences these days.
That's how I feel about like racing games and sports sims. I'd rather get out and throw a football than pretend to play.
I'd rather race a car, but I can't. They won't let me.
Oh, damn. Well, who knows what the future holds there, Briarrabbit? Voice actor, the best voice actor. I'm really happy he got this. Troy Baker as Joel in The Last of Us.
That makes sense.
He deserved it. This guy is amazing, man. He's the next Nolan North. He's doing things with his voice. He's Joker in the latest Batman game too. You know, he's Joel. He's Joker. He's gotten all these different roles he's been doing in his video games, and his voice is different in every one. The guy's pretty amazing. Now, the voice actress, I'm happy she got this. Ashley Johnson, who played Ellie in The Last of Us. So both of them got Voice Actor of the Year. I think they deserve that. And the most anticipated game, what do you think that game is?
It's got to be Grand Theft Auto.
Anticipated?
Yeah. No?
Titanfall.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. That game, it's my most anticipated.
Yeah. To me, it's what people really want from Call of Duty. Something different.
Yeah.
We were talking about this last night. I stayed up till 4 or 5 in the morning. You know, I'm only off on weekends, so that's the only time I can revert back to childhood and just stay up and play the game. Yeah. And so we were talking about it last night, and she told me that she feels that Call of Duty is going to stay safe through each iteration of the game. And it's been doing that, but I think that enough people right now are voicing their opinions on it that they want to see something change. I mean, we don't want Halo. You know, we don't want anything that's not going to be Call of Duty, but we want a new graphics engine. We want new, new fundamental gameplay aspects. We want things more than just, new perks.
Yeah, new perks, new weapons, new levels.
We want, a new thing out of Call of Duty, and I think that's kind of what they're delivering with Titanfall. It's such a new aspect. You can still run and gun like Call of Duty, but you see these huge mechs running around, and you can jump, and you got jetpacks. It's a whole new aspect. I think that's what the whole world's waiting on, and I think Microsoft's going to do damn good when that game comes out. That's a system seller, regardless how you look at it.
Absolutely. It is available on the PC as well.
Oh yeah, PC too. Yeah. I can't do the keyboard and mouse.
I don't like sitting at a desk playing my games. I like to have my feet up and leaning back. It's just not me. I just don't like to be sitting up.
There's no recliner at the desktop.
Maybe that's what I need to invest in. One of those big gaming things.
Yeah, the multiple screens. Yeah. Now, Nintendo has increased their. Okay, let me just read the article. GameSpot reports that the Wii U has sold 340% more units in November compared to October, and they sold 75% more units in October compared to September, which means if things continue to work the way they're working, their sales are jumping. Now, I think that it's probably because of the holiday, has a lot to do with the new Mario game. What do you think about this? Do you think Nintendo is going to continue to do better? I can't say do well. They're not necessarily doing bad, honestly, but compared to these other consoles, they're pretty far behind.
Yeah.
They still sold more consoles altogether than the next gen consoles, but they've been out for a year. These guys have been out for a couple of weeks, and they're steadily catching.
Yeah, Nintendo's got a problem because they just released a last generation console. There's very few games for it. They have very little third-party support. People know that. Nintendo, the kids who grew up with Nintendo, like, our age, have a lot of nostalgia. But I don't think that, 10, 11, 12-year-olds feel the same way. The kids who grew up in the GameCube era or the Wii era, I don't think they feel the same way about Nintendo that you and I feel.
There's no reason for them to.
No, there isn't.
The reason that we feel the way that we feel is Nintendo was the first, and they did it the best.
Mm-hmm.
There was no real competition when we held our Nintendo consoles.
Nope.
When you played that first Mario game, when you played Mario Kart on Super Nintendo, F-Zero, you played these Final Fantasy games, there was no competition.
Yep.
Now, not only is there a plethora of competitive consoles, everyone's one-upping another. So it's so easy for these kids who are growing up 15, 18 years old. When they were growing up, they were playing Halo.
Right.
That was when, they were changing over from being platforming, side-scrolling adventures into first-person shooters, modern warfare games, into the newer age of JRPGs and, RPG games. There is no, they don't feel like they have anything to hold on to with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Now, if they got parents that say, hey, look, like I did, you got to start with this. I gave my kids a Nintendo.
Yeah.
I said, I want you to see what this is all about. Play this game. Let me know how you like it. Then we'll move on to something new. I only do it because I want them to know the history of it. A lot of parents just say, here, take your game in your room and shut your mouth. And that's not going to be enough to get Nintendo by.
It's also a safer thing to do than handing them Xbox 360 with Call of Duty. You don't have to be worried about the mature content as much when you hand them a Wii and Mario. You can just let them have fun and unattended. You don't have to be watching over their shoulder, explaining, this is not, this is make-believe, this isn't real, there's a difference between real-life violence and video game violence. You don't have to have that conversation in a Mario game, so it's a lot easier to just, like, here's a Wii, here's Mario, have fun with it. There's bigger conversations when you get into more mature content.
That's one of the best things about Nintendo, actually, is that they have always catered to the family.
Mm-hmm. I
can't say cater to kids because, when I played new Super Mario Brothers on my Wii, I was 30 years old.
Yeah.
Had a time in my life. It was incredibly fun playing multiplayer. It was just fantastic experience. So I can't say they only cater to children, but they have always shied away from that mature content. Now, there's been a lot of backlash from consumers, and a lot of these guys who have grown up and they want to play some of these more mature games on their Wii U or on their Wii. Now they got games like Bayonetta 2 coming out on the Wii U. That's not for kids.
No.
So who knows if they're going to be changing their formula to bring in more revenue. I mean, they got some pretty decent games coming out. They got Deus Ex, Bayonetta 2, Shin Megami Tensei, for the Wii U, Super Smash Brothers. All this stuff is coming out probably first or second quarter of 2014. That's going to, especially the Smash, is going to be a system seller. The 3DS has Yoshi's New Island. Who doesn't like Yoshi, I was thinking of naming my daughter Yoshi. Super Smash Brothers, and they got Mario Golf on 3DS. But I think that, Nintendo somehow, some way needs to win back that third-party support.
Yeah, I don't know if they can with the current consoles, though. They're so...
the power is so different.
It is.
There's
you almost have to develop a separate game. And now with the 360 and the PS3 at the end of their life cycle, they're not going to be getting ports because those games just aren't going to get developed.
What do you think? Where do you see the Wii U in 2 years? Based on what you're seeing now, if you had to make...
I see it in the same place the Dreamcast went.
Wow. Don't say that. Not
do.
Inside the game, Shrine.
The Dreamcast was a well-loved console by a lot of people, but it just didn't have the support. With the PlayStation 2 kind of one-upping it, all the games started getting developed for the PlayStation 2. And I think that's what's going to happen to the Wii U as well. I think we're going to see a very similar fate.
Oh, man. Well, see, the thing is, the Dreamcast failed because of Sega as far as they didn't want to support their own consoles. When they felt like one was doing bad, they abandoned ship and went on to another.
I had the 32X. I had the Sega CD. I missed the Saturn because I was so burnt by the Sega CD. There's like 5 games released for that system.
Wow. Yeah, they came out with the Sega Genesis, and I love that. Yeah. Then the CD came. Then the 32X came. Then they created something called the CDX, which was it was a small, it looked like a CD player. Mm-hmm. Had the cartridge slot, the CD slot, played them all. Then the Saturn. Then the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And I was caught up in that whole whirlwind too. I remember when Sewer Shark came out on Sega CD and Sonic CD. And then when these games were coming out, I thought, oh God, this is the future.
Yep.
But it lasted for this amount of time. And then the Sega Saturn was out. By the time that came out, I was like, I'm not going to mess with Sega because I'll buy a console and they'll only make 10 games for it and I'll be out of my money. And that's what a lot of people felt. And I guess a lot of the developers saw that too.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that's one big difference I see between Nintendo and Sega at the time, is that Nintendo has always supported their consoles. If they're forced to let this one go because of lack of third-party support, they better change their formula and come out with the next-gen console. I mean, it has to be something really powerful, more powerful than what Sony and Microsoft have come out with.
It's so hard to predict what Nintendo's going to do at this point because they really are an innovative company. Things like the DS, like 2 screens on a handheld. What does that mean? And the Wii with the motion controls. I remember seeing when the Wii was first introduced. It was called the Revolution. I remember seeing that and thinking, why would I want this? Like, what good is this? And it sells like gangbusters. It was like impossible to find when it finally hit stores. It's hard to predict what Nintendo's going to do. They keep innovating, but I don't know. I feel like the Wii U is just it's getting left behind.
This is how I feel at the moment, and I'll leave it at this. Nintendo has a lot more failures than they do have. I mean, they have a lot more success than they have failures. They have a lot more consoles that have been, phenomenal, generation-changing consoles that have given fun and enjoyment to many, many millions of people around the world. So for those people who see the Wii U as, this system that's just a huge failure, everybody's allowed to fail, but it's the failures that bring you closer to that success. And see, Nintendo is a huge company. They're worth billions of dollars. I'm sure they got people in there learning from these mistakes. And they see exactly what's going on with the console at the time. So more than likely, if this console does fail, it goes the way of the dodo, they're going to make some changes, come out and change the world again. Because they've done it many times. They changed the world with the Nintendo 64. They changed the world with the Wii. And then everybody always jumps ship and joins, whatever their change is. They came out with the first analog controller. They came out with the first motion sensor game console. And everybody is seeming to follow that trend because it's so popular. So I think even if Nintendo doesn't do as well this console generation, they're allowed to fail. They're allowed to, make a mistake. But I think ultimately Nintendo will stay, as a top-tier company.
I hope so.
I wanted to talk to you about something else that's going on with the Xbox and 360 and the Xbox One. Now, the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One, they got some new TV shows coming out in 2014. These shows will launch on the 360 and the One. And the Xbox 360 has 80 million consoles sold. And the Xbox One has 2 million consoles sold. The shows that are announced so far, the Halo show, which is produced by Steven Spielberg, and Quantum Break, which is a show that will tie into the game. What do you think about these types of games? Do you think this is going to be something that's going to be a huge success? What are your thoughts on this TV show / video game?
I'll check out an episode of each, that's for sure. It's hard to make good television. We saw a video game tie-in on Sci-Fi Channel. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head.
Yeah, the MMO, yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to tie these things together. Video games don't necessarily make for great TV. Halo universe, I don't know. Master Chief, not a real talkative guy. Might be hard for him to carry a TV show. I don't know what it was. A Quantum Break. I'm not real familiar with that IP, but releasing a TV show on the consoles could be, you're looking right at your target market, so why not give it a shot?
82 million consoles out, so that's a huge amount of consumers to absorb this information. Yeah. And another thing is the Xbox shows that'll be launching. Microsoft hired the Breaking Bad network development director, so I don't know how closely he is involved to like the actual setup process of Breaking Bad, but Breaking Bad to me is one of the best shows of all time.
Absolutely.
I'd hire anybody who was in the credits of that show. So hopefully this guy is able to bring something to these shows that'll get people involved and get them invested in it, and hopefully get them invested enough to enjoy the show and the video game.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be amazing.
What are they going to do for a distribution model? Are they going to be selling each episode, or are you going to buy a subscription, or is it going to be free with the Xbox Live membership?
I think it's Xbox Live.
So as long as you have Xbox Live, you get to watch the show?
Yeah, you have Xbox Live, you have access to the shows. Just like Netflix did the last season of Arrested Development. Yeah. You can watch them all immediately, or how Netflix is doing Lilyhammer. Yep. You can watch them right then. I think that Xbox Live is going to do something like that where you're able to watch. I don't know if you can watch them all, but from what I heard, you'll have free access to it just from having Xbox Live. And so you watch the show, you play the game, you go back, watch some more of the show, you play the game. To me, this is going to be exciting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I actually think this is brilliant. This is a great idea. You're adding value to a service that people are already paying for. This is, the future of television is on demand. Obviously, we're seeing that with Netflix and Hulu and all sorts of other services. This seems brilliant to me. I mean, regardless of how good the actual content is, I guess that's what it all depends on. But
yeah, of course, you probably won't be able to just run through the game because you're going to want to see what's going on with the show. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do that because some people are going to try to. So either the show is going to be fully available at the time of launch, or there's certain aspects of the game you're going to have to wait to play. So it's either going to be a fully open show and game, or episodic show and game. So I guess we'll see what Microsoft is going to do.
As long as I don't have any 30-minute cutscenes, that's. Oh, you've hit level 2. Go watch this episode.
Are you telling me you don't like Metal Gear Solid 2?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Okay, one of the games that I'm really excited for, man, and I don't care what console I get it for, and my wife is too, is Destiny.
Yeah.
This new MMO, first-person shooter. What do you think about this? Have you looked at it? I mean, have you kind of delved into any of it so far? The story, the graphics, the gameplay. Now, the developers of Halo are behind this game.
Yeah, Bungie's behind this. It's their first multi-platform project. This looks like it's going to be amazing. I've watched all the trailers for it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like it's going to be kind of a multi-person, adventure game with the Halo, controls. And actually, they've added in a little bit of Call of Duty into that, too. There's going to be weapon collecting. It's going to be, exploratory. And these guys can craft a world. We know that from watching them make Halo. So I'm really excited about this. I think this could be like the big thing next year. I think Titanfall is going to be big, but it's only on one platform. Well, it's only on one console. But Destiny's coming out for Xbox One and the PS4 and the 360 and the PS3. I mean, this thing's going to hit everything. I think it's going to be the big guy come next year. And it's competing against Call of Duty next year because they're both coming out Activision published. This game's coming out in September, and Call of Duty's coming out in November.
So this next Call of Duty, that's going to be, I think, for just these new current gen consoles. Correct?
I hope so. I don't know.
I really do hope so. But my thoughts on Destiny, the pros and the cons. What I've seen so far is an open, expansive world, and it's multiple worlds you can go to.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can actually get in a ship, go to another planet, touch ground, run around, blast people, and have a ball
with your friends.
There are aspects of the game where you'll see a huge ship warp into the atmosphere where you're at, and people coming down, and a war will start right there in front of you, and it seems so amazing. To me, this is what the real next gen console is supposed to be doing. But the thing that worries me is stuff like Grand Theft Auto 5 Online, or how Battlefield Online how it acts. With this being totally online, I would hope that it just doesn't explode in our face.
Well, let's just assume that for the first week there's going to be online issues because it's just so hard to release a game and get millions of players who all want to play it that first day to get those servers running good. So let's assume that it's going to suck for the first week. But then we have years that we can enjoy this game for. And they've already talked about DLC. I think it's going to be fun to be able to explore these worlds with your friends. You're going to be able to, it's like Diablo and Halo combined, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, that just sounds like pure fun to me.
Yeah, absolutely fun. I just hope it all goes well.
Yeah, me too.
We've had a lot of missteps recently with these new games, and everybody's been excited for it, and they come Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
I want to give it a shot. You told me last time I talked to you I wouldn't be able to get in, and you cursed me because I had so much trouble getting into that game. Every time it started, I would get kicked right out. And they released a new patch for it. They're supposed to, streamline things, make things easier. I haven't even tried it. No. I got so depressed the last time I tried it. I tried to play for an hour and a half. I think I played 2 games.
Yeah, that's.
I constantly got kicked
This is
out.
not. This is now in December too. I mean, come on. This game launched in November.
I know that I think that their stock at EA went down 7% when that game started to bomb. So, I mean, they're losing a lot of money. A lot of people are really upset about it.
EA also the company behind SimCity's botched multiplayer or botched online launch.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely
Activision with Bungie, Activision and Bungie have a little more faith in my mind, or I put a little more faith in them because they've been putting out Call of Duties that their launches go pretty much flawlessly. Those are big launches. And, Activision obviously knows how to do this, so.
Now that you put that in my head, I'm a little bit more optimistic about it because you're absolutely right. EA does have a history of botched online releases.
Yeah.
And, Activision obviously knows how to do it right. They got a long history of doing it right. I wanted to talk to you about something that I did recently.
Yeah.
And for people who haven't seen this, make sure you come to my channel and check it out.
Yes.
I think it's the last video.
Yes. I give this video a beastly score of 100. Fuck!
Yeah, man. I did a video game review for a PS Vita game called Killzone Mercenary. But before I did the review, I did a challenge called the Habanero Challenge. That is something that I saw Greg Miller do, and there's actually a channel dedicated to this called Hot Pepper Games. And I didn't think it would be as bad as it was. Oh,
you were in pain, and it was hilarious.
The next 15 minutes were I was done. I just had to end the video.
I think your eyes went cross-eyed at one point.
Yeah, really, really bad. But if you guys haven't seen it, come over to my channel, check it out. I reviewed the game. I ate this habanero pepper, and it was hell. It really was. After about 6 or 7 chews, then I realized what was going on. The back of my throat, my mouth, I swear I felt like I had literal fire in my mouth.
Oh, it was well worth it, I got to tell you.
I tell you this. Last night, my oldest son, Brett, he wanted to try this, okay? He's 12 years old. He's at that age where he thinks he's becoming a young man.
Yep.
And so he said, Dad, I can do it. I said, Brett, I don't want you to do that, son. You're going to be in a lot of pain. He said, no, I can do it. Now, my 11-year-old looked at him like he was stupid. So Brett sat down at the table. I turned on, the camera and got everything ready for him. And he wanted to do a comparison of Call of Duty Ghosts and Black Ops 2.
Okay.
Because he didn't have anything ready to do a review. And all he could say was Call of Duty Ghosts and Black Ops 2 the entire time. He ate half of the pepper.
Yeah.
And he was screaming the whole time, and I'm surprised he sat there as long as he did. But he finally jumped up. He went and got ice cubes, and it was terrible. But yeah, those habanero. I will never do a ghost pepper. So anybody requesting that, no.
So I watched this video last night, and I was the kids were in bed. I was laying in bed watching videos on my iPad. I'm like, oh, Beastly made a new video. I got to check this out, and I start laughing, and then I watched it again, and I laughed harder the second time, and then the kids got up, and I showed them. And then Jan came home, and I showed her.
I got so many emails of people asking me to do that more often. Oh, God.
You gonna do it again?
Yeah,
Yeah?
they want me to do it more. I don't know if I will there, Briarrabbit. I don't know if I have the balls to do that, man. That was terrible.
No fake peppers.
Those peppers were really, really bad. You should try one. Tell you what,
no, thank you.
We'll try together the next time we do the Beastly Thoughts episode.
Yeah. The shortest episode.
Oh, it'll be the shortest one. I promise you that. Welcome to these. Oh, God. Those peppers are some serious business.
That was a hilarious video.
I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. You guys make sure you swing by my channel, like, comment, subscribe.
Absolutely.
And all you guys watching my video, go on over to Briarrabbit's channel, comment, subscribe to his channel, and have some fun with us. I hope you guys are enjoying us sharing our thoughts, and letting you guys know how we feel about this gaming world. You got anything else to say, Brian?
Yeah, I actually got a couple more topics. Are you in a hurry to get going?
Oh, no.
Good.
I want to give you the opportunity to talk.
All right, so I just pulled up my notes here. So you've been talking about the PS Vita. Obviously, you did the review yesterday with the habanero of Killzone. Have you played, what was the?
Tearaway?
Tearaway. Have you played Tearaway yet?
Bought 2 copies, haven't played it yet. Now, the reason I haven't played it yet is because I bought 2 as Christmas gifts.
Okay.
And so I'm going to wait for those to get out in the open before I give it a shot.
What you need to get your hands on is a shrink wrap machine, you see. So you open the thing up, you play with it for a couple weeks, shrink wrap it back up. That's a new gift.
Back up, okay. Yeah, I've heard, actually, I downloaded the demo last night on my Vita, and she played it. She told me she thought it was the best demo she ever played. Yeah. And she wasn't talking about handheld. She said, period, just the way that the game is made, it fully integrates that PlayStation Vita, all the functionality of the console. And, the back is touch panel, the front's touch screen. It has, the gyroscopic, you can move it around. It incorporates all that, and it's not a gimmick. It's like for the world of the game, you have to use all that stuff. And from what I'm hearing, it's the best PlayStation Vita game ever made. I'll definitely have it. I've been going nuts these last couple of weeks buying stuff. I bought both of my boys' Vitas. Brett and Brennan, if you guys are watching this video, turn it off now. I bought both of them Vitas. I got them some games. I got them some remote control cars. I got her some Vita games. Got her 2 of them. I got her Tearaway, and she won a Little Big Planet. It's supposed to be the best one, but I just been kind of got my 3-year-old a tablet because that's the world we're living in now.
What kind of tablet you go with?
It's trying to remember.
Android or iPad?
It's Android. It's Android. It's a 10-inch Android, and it's a dual core, and it's capacitive touch. Comes with a stylus, keyboard. It was only about $270, but I didn't want to get her anything too nice because she likes to take her brother's tablet and sit her cups on.
Yeah.
So I can't get her anything too nice, but I got her tablet. I got the baby some stuff. I got the wife some stuff, and the boys. And I really don't need anything, man. I'm a beastly gamer. I got almost everything I want. The only thing I gotta get now that I really know I have to get soon is that Xbox One.
Yeah.
For a long time since the announcement of E3, I was real pissed off at Microsoft, and now I'm to the point where it's kind of dying down. I see them trying to right their ship.
Yep.
And they're bringing it around back for me, for a gamer. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. I like the attempt to make everything good, and I'm going to have to go ahead and get the console. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I like having it. I got to say, though, if you already have a PlayStation 4, I don't see any point in buying it until Titanfall comes out. Like, there's nothing right now. I actually enjoy the first-party games on the Xbox One better than I do on the PS4. I like Forza, I like Dead Rising, and those 2. But I like those better than like Shadowfall and what else do I have? Shadowfall was the only first party game I bought for the PS4, I think.
Now, let me ask you a question. Did you play Shadowfall? Did you go through the
I jumped into the multiplayer for a bit. I enjoyed the multiplayer, although it's kind of like a cross between it feels like it's like Halo in like mud. It's a little slower.
Yeah.
And it's a little slipperier. But I did like it. I like the game modes because they kind of combine like deathmatch with domination and search and destroy. So it's like you play one long match that goes on for like 25 minutes, but the match is evolving into different kind of game types, and I thought that was really cool. I thought once you get used to the controls, you probably get into it, but it does feel a little slow.
Now, as far as the cross-platform gaming,
Yeah.
Are you enjoying those more on the Xbox One?
No, I'm playing everything on the PlayStation 4. I like the DualShock 4 so much better than the Xbox One controller. And you also get the 1080p graphics on things like Call of Duty Ghosts. That I find no reason to play them on the Xbox One. What's the point really? If I have a superior version over on the PS4, why play it on the Xbox One? The Xbox One I basically have for its first-party games, and right now, the one I'm looking forward to is Titanfall.
You heard it here, guys, from Briarrabbit. Yeah. Those little things like the resolution do matter. I mean, I don't see why anybody would say that it wouldn't. If you got two consoles playing the same game, and you got a superior experience on one, there's really no reason to go to the other.
I can't see the difference, though. I really can't.
Yeah, that's the thing. You really can't, but you know that there is a difference. So
you've been told.
You have to go over to the PS4. Plus, that controller just won.
DualShock 4. It's a great controller. It really is.
Does your wife play games with you at all?
No.
She's not the game. Just kicks you out into the game room and leaves.
Not interested. In fact, there's a certain like glassy-eyed look when I start talking about them that I'm very familiar with. It's that look that says, I'm looking at you, but I'm thinking about what I'm going to make for dinner.
I think I really got lucky, man.
Yeah.
And I'm truly blessed because that's the first woman I've ever dated, married, who's ever been into games like me. When I first met her, she was a Microsoft girl. Mm-hmm. She was like, screw Sony, telling me that to my face. And I thought that was great and very endearing. And then over the years, we played and beat so many games. She sits and plays with me every single night, and then she makes dinner. So it's a good thing, man. She actually wanted to meet you and play with you in Call of Duty and see how she did against you.
Yeah, we should all get together and play together. My gamer tag is open. Sure. Just send me an invite, or if I see you guys online, I'll send you guys an invite. Absolutely. We should, okay. There's a video waiting to happen, too.
For sure. Yeah, it's going to be fun, too. Okay, what other topics have you got in your notes?
All right, so Habanero review. We already talked about that. That was hilarious. Okay, so have you been listening to any of this YouTube copyright stuff?
Oh, yes. And now that's going to affect you a lot more than it's going to affect me because
that's true.
I don't do it as much.
That's true. You do a lot more in real life videos than gameplay.
Because I'm waiting for my Elgato.
That's right. So are you planning on doing gameplay? You've done a little bit of gameplay in the past, like your review of Call of Duty Ghosts single player.
Yeah, but that video was so terrible. I just used the camcorder to record the TV. Yeah. I'm waiting for my Elgato, but I gotta wait till Christmas to get it out.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'll be on par with some of the greats like yourself, sir. But the way I'm understanding this is there's new copyright laws being enforced by YouTube that if you're doing Let's Plays, if you're doing video game reviews showing game footage, you'll get strikes against you, and that footage has to be removed. Now, wasn't this supposed to take place in 2014?
So here's the thing, right, is that I don't think that they're specifically targeting the video game itself. I think what they have a problem with is the music that's the background of the video game. So let's say you're playing Grand Theft Auto or you're playing BioShock Infinite. Both of those games have third-party music in them, right? So if you're driving down the street listening to a radio station in Grand Theft Auto, then you actually are hearing licensed music that, Rockstar had to license. That's where your channel is getting nailed. And what's happening is they're not getting a strike. You're just losing your ability to monetize the video. And what they're going to change is they're going to start reviewing videos for a longer period of time to see if that stuff is in there. So I haven't had any of this happen to me because I've been careful to keep that stuff out of my videos. I do have gameplays. I have gameplays of BioShock Infinite. I have gameplays of Grand Theft Auto. And obviously I have a lot of Call of Duty gameplays. But I've stayed away from it because I keep the music out. And because I was made aware of that.
Let me ask you a question. Like when you're playing Call of Duty, the background music is just ambient, pretty much.
But Call of Duty's a little different because they have their own music. They're not using like, there's an Eminem song in the credits, but it's not playing during the actual gameplay.
So the gameplay of Call of Duty wouldn't come under this umbrella of copyright infringement.
That's what I think, but the problem is the details are so unclear at this point. My channel is partnered, and that's why I got a partnership, right? Is because I wanted a third party between me and YouTube to help settle these issues, and YouTube's basically saying, no, it's still on you.
Now, I know Angry Joe got 67 of his videos, strike. He got, copyright hits for 67
They got taken down, or they got caught for match content. Are they still up? He just can't monetize them?
I think that's all they did. He can't monetize them, and he's real upset about it. Me personally, I probably will just do what I continue to do. If Call of Duty, that's really the only game I really like to play and put a Let's Play video up, because I can do the news coming out or just talk about the game in general, unless I'm doing a review of a game. But if that's the way they're doing it through the actual audio of the game, then that's a good way to not get caught.
Yeah, I think that's the big issue, because it's not. Rockstar doesn't have an issue with you posting Let's Plays of Grand Theft Auto. It's Sony Music that's having the issue, because Rockstar licenses music to play in their game, but nobody licensed it to broadcast on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's going on here. That's why people are getting huge amounts of hits on this match content. And I think YouTube is being more stringent about it, and I know a lot of people are really pissed off at YouTube, but YouTube's got a business to run, and they're not that concerned with individuals posting this stuff. They're more concerned about their broad business.
Well, yeah, as a business model must be to abide by the law.
Yeah.
So you really can't take it personal, and they're just doing their job really, and making a lot of people change the way they do theirs. But, from the sounds of things, a lot of people will still be able to function as they have.
Yeah.
As long as you don't just, go get, let's see, Hearts, These Dreams and play it in the background, So that works out pretty good. Let me ask you a question. Have you heard about this NSA spying on Xbox Live?
Yeah, I watched your video about that. And
what do you think about that? For the people who don't know who Edward Snowden is, he was a privately contracted gentleman who worked for the NSA in Hawaii. He came out in Hong Kong and broke the story that the NSA was illegally spying on Americans and people around the world, illegally getting your phone information, your phone calls, your emails, and your Skype calls, actually going in through the phone company and getting all your information. And this came out, and the guy now lives in Russia. He's been given a year of what's the word I'm looking
asylum.
For? And he's there for a year before they do something more permanent. But America thinks he's a traitor to the country, even though he's actually helping out the Americans. But one of his latest leaks has come out, and it's proven now that the NSA has been spying on gamers on the Xbox Live since 2006, and going into games like World of Warcraft and Second Life, and creating fake accounts just to converse with people who they may feel are possibly terroristic threats.
Yeah.
What do you think about this story?
So I'm torn on it, right? It's like I want freedom back. I feel like we've lost so much since 2001. We've just lost so much. At the same time, if it was me running these investigations, I'm going to do everything I can to figure out, if you're communicating through the chat on Xbox Live, then that's where I'm going to try and catch you. So it's just, I don't know. We need oversight on this stuff, because you can't be spying on Americans. You can't do that.
The thing is this, if you give up your security for freedom, you deserve both. You give up your liberty for security, you deserve none. Yeah. If you just give up all your freedoms for someone saying they're going to protect you, I just can't do it. And the way they're doing it now, they're blanketly spying on everybody. You know, I mean, all your phone calls, and this is not just, a small group of people. This is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Americans who every phone call you make, they're getting metadata.
Yeah.
They got these facilities now. They're building this infrastructure to house this metadata, and terabyte upon thousands of terabytes to be able to go back and look in the past and who you called, why you called, for how long, and if they had some way of showing something that may have been thwarted, a terroristic threat that may have been ended, or lives that may have been saved because of this, then you could actually look and say, hey, well, I kind of understand it because they did stop this, train bombing here, but there is no data like that. And so you're going to ask yourself, what is it all for? I mean, if they can go back, if you break the law today, but you're not a terrorist, and they go back a year ago and, go into your phone records to find out what you're doing on that day, to me, that is a big encroachment on your civil rights and your freedoms as an American. That's what this is all about. It's the land of the free.
Completely. You start thinking about like theoretical conversations like, if we save 1,000 people, is that worth everybody's liberty for the next 100 years? Exactly. I don't know. I can't answer that question, to be honest with you. Like, I just can't.
If you could save one, you'd want to, but at the cost of what?
I don't know.
We have a president who now says it's my number one job is to keep you safe. But that's not the history of presidency. The number one job of a president is to keep you free.
Yeah, liberty, man. It's right there.
Safety comes with the freedom.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, it's a sad thing. I don't think anything at this point is going to change it because not enough voices are, not enough people have become aware.
Yeah, but at the same time, we get upset about the NSA taking this data, but we're just handing it over to Google and to Apple and to Microsoft. We're just freely giving it up. So how upset are we going to get about it? The
thing is, all these companies, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, I forget which, Verizon, these companies have been verified as handing over your information to the NSA. Yeah. So I have a Google account, an email account. I know that the information that goes into there is being filtered.
Absolutely, because they're serving ads on what's inside the email.
Yeah, when you go on the internet, you see something. This happened to me a few weeks ago. I was Christmas shopping, and then an ad for what I was just sending an email about popped up. I was like, okay, we're like you said, we're freely giving away our information. I got off Facebook 2 years ago, about 2.5 years ago. I recently started a new Facebook for my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And that was it. But I got off Facebook before this information broke because I felt like the potential of it, the potential of someone having all your private information, your private chats, is detrimental to your freedom. You could do anything to anybody if you knew what they did privately.
I got into a conversation with a guy a couple months ago. He said, I'm not on Facebook. I don't want him stealing all my information. I'm like, you're a fool. You're on Facebook. You might not have an account, but you're on there. And I looked him up because all you have to do is look up his friends. There's tons of pictures of him. His name, he's tagged in it. They know where you are, even if you don't have an account.
Yeah, you can put somebody's name right in there in their face. Definitely, it's rough. And to me personally, the way it looks now, it'll probably get worse before it gets.
It's like we're watching Big Brother get built.
Yeah, this is it. This is actually that moment in history. And the thing is, we're here now, and we're not doing anything about it. And one day, our children's children will look back and say, "Why didn't we?"
Yeah.
When you can't go into the bathroom without a camera looking at you because they want to know everything. It's just, it's kind of crazy. The overreach, the government overreach, is just ridiculous now. All in the name of freedom, all in the name of safety.
Yep.
You give up all your liberty to be safe when you have more of a chance of getting killed by a shark than you do a terrorist attack. But everybody's afraid. Nobody's speaking up. And a lot of people don't know either, Briarrabbit. A lot of people are just playing the games, have no idea what's going on. I go to work. I asked the guys at work about 4 months ago. I said, do you guys know who Edward Snowden is? They're like, no. I said, he's one of the most important people in the world right now. You guys don't know who this guy is? They're like, no, what did he do? That's the world we live in. People know more. They know a football player's social security number, but they don't know who Edward Snowden is. It's crazy. That's just the world we live in, I guess. Some of us are asleep, some are awake. Some of us are awake and still play video games.
Should I change my gamer tag from Weed Smoke 420, do you think?
It's too Yeah, they said 420. What date is that again? Yeah, already stored, my friend. You know, it's just, more gaming news. It just gets crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? I never had a chance to ask you. Microsoft banning Xbox Live users for using vulgar language.
That was a specific situation, though, right? They were recording gameplay and then uploading it to so other people could watch. I think it was an overreach, and I think they pulled back on it right away. And I don't think it's an issue anymore. But I see why they had the policy in place. But it's another tough one, right? It's like, what constitutes vulgar language? To one person, it could be one thing. To another person, it could be something far different. I can see why Microsoft doesn't want that, associated with their service. So, they're the one who set the policy for that service. So, they get to do what they want as far as that censorship goes. It's, you're a consumer, you sign the user agreement, and they pulled back on it real quick, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they actually did. It was so much of a public backlash, and it was all over the news. People were upset. Me personally, I wasn't as upset because I've dealt with the internet. You have too. You know that the ugly side of America is on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, and that's just something we all deal with. But as far as language, I think that's fine. I think people should be able to say what you want to say. If you go online and you play, if you're uploading it and people start watching it, they can always stop watching the video.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind if they had some kind of tagging, though, for explicit language. Like, like this is age gated, so that my kids, my kids want to get on there and watch, that they're not exposed to it. I wouldn't mind a system like that. They don't have to ban it altogether, though.
Yeah, or ban you, because you're paying for a service, and especially if you're paying an annual fee, a monthly fee, you get banned. Do you get a refund for that day? That's something I said in my YouTube channel. If they're going to ban you for a service that you pay for, do you get any kind of recoup for some of the funds or that time? I don't know if they sent out a warning to this guy in particular either. He was going to get banned for uploading.
No, I don't think they did, but I think that they've pulled back on that policy. I think they saw that they had overreached. They saw the public kind of backlash, and they're pretty sensitive to public backlash at this point. Microsoft is.
Yeah. They can just feel it. But me personally, I think Microsoft's doing a hell of a job. I was very, very, very critical of them for a long time. And the fire is just now subsiding inside of me. I felt like, a gladiator for Sony for like the last, 4 or 5 months. But, seeing what they're doing with their console, the way that they're handling consumer relations, the way they seem to really care about the way the gamers are feeling now. I think there's right now an online petition for Microsoft for them to change the UI of the Xbox One because so many people don't like it. Microsoft, they released a statement saying that they're considering it. I don't think that they really should have to consider that, but the fact that they're even paying attention to what the consumers say, that means a lot to me as a consumer.
Is that a blanket statement for all Microsoft products? Please change the UI. We don't like Windows 8.
Yeah. That was really the main part of it. They said it was Windows 8. Yeah. The fact that they seem to really are showing more concern for the feelings of their consumer means a lot to me. Sony this year has really come out on behalf of the gamers and on behalf of the consumer, and that's what kind of really pulled me deep into their back pocket. Microsoft has done a 180, and now they're doing the same thing. And like I said, I'm going to have to end up getting me an Xbox One.
Let's be honest, though. Sony had it easy this summer. Microsoft couldn't keep their feet out of the shit. Like, they just couldn't. They couldn't make a single right move. And Sony's just standing there smiling like, what are you guys, idiots? They're making Sony's on YouTube making videos of here's how you trade games on PlayStation 4. Here you go. That's all they had to do was just not be Microsoft.
I think that the way that went down, Microsoft went first, and it was over.
Yeah.
Because as soon as Microsoft left, they knew that they had a $100 cheaper console, and they knew everything they had to say. He went out there, and it looked like they made that PowerPoint in the background right before it went up.
Yeah.
There is you could trade your games, all this stuff, and the crowd went crazy. Sony had it really easy. You're right. Yeah. They just watched Microsoft do that, and they're like, You can't. You really going to say that? And
Sony announced that PlayStation Plus was going to, or it's PlayStation to play multiplayer games on the PlayStation 4 was going to actually start costing money. Nobody even cared. They're like, oh, at least you're not Microsoft.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I guess we'll have to sit and watch and see what happens with these consoles in the future. It's going to be a hell of a ride. This generation is going to be phenomenal. Yeah. I'm so excited.
I am too. I'm having a blast already. You mentioned that you've been thinking about hooking up your PlayStation 3 to get, some of those older games that you missed. I haven't even had time to get through the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One games yet. I'm still playing Dead Rising. I'm still playing Forza. I'm still playing Black Flag. I haven't had time. I haven't had the time.
Check it out. I work probably 10 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and I don't get home until midnight every night. So I get home at midnight. I'll eat whatever dinner she's made me. We'll sit together for a while to take my shower, and then we'll go to sleep. My time is very limited. The game on the PS4 that I haven't really played at all is Battlefield 4. And I'm so mad about it because the game is so beautiful. And that'll probably be the next one I play. But as I sit and look, I got so much stuff over here I can go back to. I'm really excited about this DLC coming to The Last of Us. That's like, to me, it feels like Christmas. Just to know that's coming out where you get to go back to the prologue, see what happened to Ellie, what happened to her friend. You heard about this DLC, correct? To me, that's a no-brainer. I'm so excited. I'm probably more excited about that than any of the PS4 games I have. Because the game is just a totally different experience. But I'm going to get around to Battlefield 4.
Let me talk about Battlefield 4 because I actually have one video on my channel of playing Battlefield 4. And it is one of the most popular videos I've posted in the last, 45 days. It's been doing phenomenally. And people have been asking for more. But I can't play it. The game doesn't work. And that's a real bummer. I want to play it. I have fun playing it. I think it's a really fun game.
Have you tried Battlefield since they released this new patch?
No. When was that patch released? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
I'm getting mixed signals that a lot of people saying it does work now, and some people saying it doesn't. I just haven't had the time to get on there. And shoot, man, that game is awesome.
It looks phenomenal.
I played the multiplayer, man, and I feel like there's so many players. It's chaotic. It's beautiful. Definitely got to get that one.
Have you played any of the single player?
Yeah, I played about 2 hours of single player.
Was it good?
And yeah, man. Just the graphics alone are worth that. Killzone is more of to me, more of a science fiction type graphic. Yep. Battlefield is real. It's chaotic. When these guys get shot, when you see an explosion, I had to keep going through one part over and over again because the explosion looks so real. I wanted to see it from every angle. The game is just phenomenal. I'll probably delve into that, but right now I'm having so much fun on Call of Duty Ghosts. Whenever that time comes, it'll come. Yeah. And it's like, I like Killzone's multiplayer too, but it's like right now I'm really getting into Call of Duty, finally, after all these weeks. So I think I'm probably going to stick on Call of Duty for a while, really get, my feet wet there and get acclimated to that new system. And then I'm going to delve into Battlefield 4. She's actually mad at me for not playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said, you bought this game, you won't play it. And I'm like, well, I have all the time.
I'm a multiplayer gamer. My favorite experiences are playing against other people. It's like the difference between playing solitaire and playing poker. It's just more fun for me personally. It's just more fun to play against humans because they act like humans. They're unpredictable. It makes it more interesting. I played Black Ops 2 all year. I finally got around to the single player in September. I didn't touch the single player on Black Ops 2 till September.
I swear we did the exact same thing. The same thing. And it was September. When we played I didn't play it at all either. I played for maybe an hour. I played the single player in September and she didn't know what game it was. She didn't know what game it was. But yeah, the single player campaign in Black Ops 2 looks really good. And I know that's kind of a shame. People say you guys have been playing the multiplayer is really what Call of Duty's all about.
That's what it brings to the table for me is a year full of multiplayer action. It's the premier multiplayer game on the market right now. And when I want to jump in, I want a good shooter, and that's what I play.
she really liked the campaign actually in Call of Duty Ghosts. Uh, she just really enjoyed it. The set pieces and the things you can control as far as tanks and RVs and all this stuff. To me, that's more of the same.
Yeah.
But she really, really enjoyed it. I'd never played the Call of Duty Ghost campaign. Only multiplayer. That's really all I care about.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. Me personally, if I turn that game on and go straight, it's already on default. Go straight to multiplayer. Maybe one day when the world comes to an end and we still have power but no internet, I'll play the campaign. But as of right now, I'm strictly, multiplayer. I'm going to get on that a little bit tonight. If you're not doing anything tonight, you guys can join us. Look for me and look for Briarrabbit on the PlayStation Network, the Beastly Gamer Dash, and you are Briarrabbit.
Yeah, Briarrabbit, one word.
All right.
And now, what do we got? 2,000 friends that you can have on the PlayStation Network? Is that right? 2,000?
Yeah, mine are so low. Actually, believe it or not, I get more friends when I do the Twitch.
Yeah.
Like when you do Twitch on the PlayStation 4, people see like my living room, and then I'll like turn the camera and show them the game consoles. Yeah. Turn this way and show them the games, and then by the time I turn back, there's like 500 people watching. And, then everybody just joins in. But I don't normally, like on my YouTube channel, even mention my PlayStation Network name. But my old name was Candika, Candika. I know it's a girl name, but it was just the name I made up and I liked it. But that was completely full. And so my new Beastly gamer tag is so new. I think I got like 100 friends. Mm-hmm. So I got plenty of space. Yeah. I'm lonely, guys. I'm lonely.
The games are more fun, especially if you're playing team-based games. It's so much more fun to have people that you play with regularly because you get patterns, and you get familiar with people, and you become a much more powerful team than people you're just playing with randomly. And it's more fun because you can trash talk each other, and that's always fun.
Now, when you play those, what do you play the most of? You play team deathmatch?
I love free for all. I absolutely love it. It was something that I used to really like in Modern Warfare 2 and in Black Ops 1.
In Modern Warfare 3, I used to do free for all the time.
In Black Ops 2 though, the game it just didn't work because it was too hard to earn score streaks, and I don't know, there's something about the movement in that game that it felt somewhat random, like two people running into a corner and you never knew who was going to win that fight. It just seemed to be completely random. In this game, I feel like the netcode is a lot better, and the score streaks are much easier to earn. So it just, for free for all, it seems like a lost friend that I just can't stay away from now.
I want to have to jump into that free for all with you. I'll talk some shit too.
Good.
Let me ask you a question though. You're a gamer like me. You got tons of game consoles. Everyone knows this. What do you think about the Steam machine?
I don't know about that controller. Right? Everything about it sounds good.
That controller is shit,
You think so? Have you touched it?
Just from the looks. I mean, it looks like a sheet of paper that somebody cut into the shape of a controller. I just can't, my mind can't get around the physicality of it, the way it looks. How can you actually, if you don't have buttons, it's something so different. It has to be either a huge success or a big fail because it's so different.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
The machine itself sounds awesome, right? Because you get all the PC games, you get a much more powerful system than the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One are offering. It looks like it's the one to beat, except that controller just, I don't know, using, I don't even know what that's called. It's like a touchpad instead of a thumbstick. And
on both sides, yeah.
it might be the next revolution. But to me, it looks like it's going to be. Touchpads. The only touchpad I've ever had that worked has been on a $3,000 Apple computer. Every laptop I've ever had that's not been an Apple has been a terrible experience as far as the touchpad goes. They're funky. They skip around. So maybe they have some kind of special sauce in these things that's really going to make them special. But I'm not confident.
So this console is going to retail. I'm trying to remember. It's between $500 and $600.
Yeah, I don't think they've announced specifically yet. Have they? They've kind of given a range. They're not sure.
Speculation. I think they've been speculating it's going to be between 5 and 6. which is right in the range of the PS4 and Xbox One. The hardware is definitely better than the PS4 and Xbox One. Is this going to be a console that you do mostly streaming from, or will you be able to put the actual PC discs inside of it and play?
I think you can do both. You can buy games off of the Steam, service. So I don't think you're going to put discs into it. I think you're just going to buy the games off of Steam, or you can hook it up to your PC through your network and stream the games from your PC, which is going to be far more powerful than this. Either way, you're playing Steam games.
This is what I'm thinking, okay? I've never really been a PC gamer. Yeah. I got a few PC games. I got Mass Effect 3 on PC. This could be the catalyst that can turn console gamers into PC gamers.
It could be. I mean,
actually, it could if they do it the right way. Because of course, there are tons of PC elitists.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody who has a decent PC is a PC elitist because you're used to having the top tier, the best, the cream of the crop. But if you can somehow bridge that gap and create a console that can do that, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
It's really a no-brainer. If this console is as powerful as they say it is, I gotta have one. I mean, I'll probably end up.
I can't see myself buying this thing day one though. I just can't. Like, there's too many questions. It's gonna be too expensive, and with that controller that it's shipping with, or the one they're talking about it shipping with, maybe it'll change. It is out right now for beta testers, so it's in people's hands. I haven't heard anybody talking about it, so there must be some kind of very strict, embargo. Yeah, but it's the controller. That's the question mark to me. If that controller is awesome, then the thing is a no-brainer. I'm gonna buy one. If that controller isn't no good, then the whole enterprise is no good.
It's not gonna be as good as this controller.
I mean, that controller. I honestly think the DualShock 4 is the best controller anybody's ever built.
Oh, you're the man, Briarrabbit.
Until Scuff modifies it, and then that will be the next best controller. I can't. What is taking Scuff so long? Have you ever had a Scuff controller?
Yeah, I actually have.
What is taking these guys so long? Come on, get these things out. Add those damn pads on the back. Switch out. What do you think about the? What do you think about the shape of the thumbsticks on the PS4?
The concave. I haven't had any problems with it.
I prefer the PS3 rounded dome style.
Yeah, the analogs.
Yeah.
I've heard some people say that this actually has been coming off.
I've heard that too. But you're gonna run into that stuff when you're an early adopter, right? It's like you're gonna run into those manufacturing defects they haven't figured out. If Scuff comes out with a controller and they offered a dome thumbstick, the triggers in the back, and trigger stops, I'm in. Charge whatever you want. I'm ready. I got my money ready.
Charge whatever you want.
I'm so ready. And don't get me started on the Xbox One.
Oh, yeah, you got to have that,
God. I want this controller to be... All I want is them to make it as good as the 360 controller was. And I'd be so happy.
I'm pretty sure the controller developer feels that one. Everybody knows that the Xbox One controller took a step back from the 360.
Yeah. They made some strides forward with the digital pad is better. It's still not as good as Sony or Nintendo's doing with digital pads. But the triggers don't feel right. The bumpers don't feel right. The thumbsticks don't feel right. There's so many weird decisions they made with this that, I don't know. Scuff, help us.
Scuff, help us. Briarrabbit's buying two. One for him and one for you. Oh, man. Well, you guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to our channels. I'm the Beastly Gamer. This is Briarrabbit. Once again, thank you guys for your thoughts, for listening to our thoughts. That was a bad thought. We'll see you guys soon.
I give this video 100 Beastly Gamer points. What was it? I say it again. I give this video
100 Beastly Gamer habanero.